Okay, it is 10 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh, wow, we still have food coming. All right, cool. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Humanist Society of Greater Phoenix. My name is Alex Zygmunt. I'm the president. I wanted to say hello and welcome to you all. Thank you so much for attending today. A few announcements before we get really into the whole presentation here. If you're here for the very first time, could you please raise your hand? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. So we have a number of cool things that are happening soon. Roger, there you are. Could you help me make a count? I want to make sure that we have quorum for what's coming next. For all of you who are dues paid members, could you please raise your hand? I believe we have quorum. Is that at least 27 people? Oh, yeah, there's 31. Okay, fantastic. So I'll get to that in just a minute. All right, so before I do that, who here enjoyed breakfast? Yes, breakfast. Thank you, breakfast crew. They were here early this morning getting stuff set up and ready for us to go. I'm getting a little feedback here. I may be a little hot on my gain there. Yeah, there we go. Perfect, thank you. So, if you enjoyed breakfast, one of the things that we do is, in lieu of the $5 donation to assist with breakfast costs, if you would like to bring a casserole, an egg-based dish, that can serve as the $5 donation instead of that. So our breakfast crew gets here early in the morning, and then they helps tear down whenever we're finished here. We could always use help, volunteers, an extra pair of hands, a couple extra set of ears to listen and sometimes talk, and to get to know each other. This is how we build community. So we have a number of things that are going on, the next of which is actually, one of my announcements this morning was that we were still looking for a program director, but I've learned this morning that that is no longer the case. We now have a nominee and team to help with program director for our 2025 board. Yes, thank you so much. And that would be Vici Duarte. We love Vici, she's awesome. So that being said, during the last board meeting, I nominated Michelle Popejoy, where's Michelle? There she is, as our service and participation director. Now, part of the bylaws is that the board has to approve my nominee, and then the dues paid members, we have to have a 10% is our quorum for votes. So I need now for those of you who are dues paid member to either aye or nay approving Michelle Popejoy as our continuing service and participation director. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It is unanimous. Congratulations, Michelle. Speaking of important things that are coming up, here pretty soon we have a very massive, super important election coming up. It's happening in 2 weeks. It's the election for the 2025 board, which means today is the last day for nominations. I know that we have a slate of nominations already. I will be continuing on as the president. Aaron, I don't see Aaron here today, will be stepping up as vice president. Roger will be continuing on as treasurer. David will be continuing on as our property director. Michelle will be hopefully continuing on, be here 2 months and then I'm done. No, Michelle will continue hopefully on as service and participation. What else am I forgetting? Secretary, okay, Mike is not here this morning, so hopefully he'll continue on as well. And I'm also hoping that Kate will continue to step up communications, please. Yes, come on. All right, so, and by the way, a communications team could use a lot of help. We'd like to get back to doing things like our newsletter, getting stuff out on social media, so any help that you can give to even just serving on a committee for ideas, Those types of things are important as well. So that being said, that is your slate for the 2025 board. The elections will happen 2 weeks from now. And we will have a form going up either tonight or tomorrow, which will be a Google form where you can vote for the candidates in favor. And then we'll tally the votes and finalize the votes 2 weeks from now during our Sunday speaker meeting. And then the following will be the board meeting right after that, and going from there. And I think I've caught everything, unless I'm missing something. I do know that Roger has a Humanist minute for us. So please, Roger, if you would come forward.
Hi, all. So 2 years, maybe 3 years ago, something that was then called the Foundation Beyond Belief came to us and said, we want you all to try and come up with a local food project to help with food security. And they gave us $100 a month, and we cast around for a few months trying to figure something out. And we finally settled on putting out a mini fridge and opening our own little free pantry. They gave us $300 a month then to put food in it. Well, that foundation has since gone out of business, and we've been depending on contributions from members to keep the pantry going. And what we've been doing we started it in August of 2022. Yeah, so it's just been over 2 years. We've put almost $10,000 worth of food out. In addition, many of our members who are on the team that fills the fridge bring food in. Other groups who meet here, like the TST, the Satanic Temple, they bring in food. And Vici brings in food from her community. So we're putting a lot of food out there. If people would like to donate for the next year, we have a webpage. I'll send a blast out email tomorrow. There's ways that you can donate one time, or if you want, you can donate you can do a repeating donation. And also, if you think this is a good idea, you can pre-fund a year's worth of donations via cash, check, credit card, or really PayPal, in any amount like $60, $120, $240, and then the treasurer will allocate that money every month for the next year. So just something to put out there if you would like to keep this little free pantry alive. We can definitely use donations. I've got some flyers with QR codes that lead to the donation form. And for any one-off donations, you can always trace down the treasurer. Yes?
There is a demand for it. Last night at game night, we had a homeless family, including 3 children, show, and we fed them and assisted them in jobs.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Yes. So a homeless family came by, and they were helped with food and also with job assistance search. And when we have the center open, I found that we often do have someone. Yesterday during Inquiring Minds group, someone stopped by and asked if they could get some help for their family of 6 people because they were just having a shortfall right now, and they found us on Google Maps. So I went in and got them a big box full of food to help tide them over. So I will send an email link, and then we have these little flyers up here with the QR code. And I just wanted to thank everybody who's donated in the last couple of years. It's not our core mission, but it's really nice to have a positive impact on the local community.
Thank you, Roger. Yes, thank you for reminding me. I have not made my donation for this next year yet on that, and I have done it the previous 2 years. So I'm going to just briefly cover some of our participation activities we have coming up. I usually do not do the whole gamut because we've got a lot going on all the time. I always like to plug our quarterly blood drive. Next one is January 5th. Please find it on Meetup or contact me or Howard Johnson. And also, next weekend, we have Meeple Fest going on here. Big board gaming thing. They have scheduled games with teachers. And I am actually signed up, I think, to learn 2 new games and play 3 ones I already know. Oh, no, 3 new games for me. And they also have racks of games that you can just check out and play with other people that are here. And they will also have food and drink. They set up a grill and make burgers and things like that. And because that is next weekend, our monthly crocheting sleeping mats for the homeless meetup is going to be on the 16th this month. And also, since the weather is cooler, please keep in mind that every Tuesday and Thursday mornings in Ahwatukee, Sharon Lee takes people on a hike not far from her house. Please think about joining that. And there's a lot more, but we have run a little long this morning with intros. And I just encourage you always to try and do Meetup as much as possible so you can get the email alerts when we schedule stuff. And Howard is going to go ahead and introduce our speaker for today.
Thank you, Catherine. Some of you know my name's Howard Johnson, and I'm the VP right now. I'm gone in the summer, but I'm the VP, and my term will end in December. And so, but I'm always going to be around. I've been around many years, and I'll keep doing that. But anyway, I'm introducing our speaker. Our speaker is affectionately called the Wikipediatrician. Susan Gerbic is the founder of Guerrilla Skepticism on Wikipedia. A Center for Inquiry ambassador, Gerbic is also a fellow of Committee for Skeptical Inquiry and winner of the CFI Bowles Award for Critical Thinking, as well as the James Randi Foundation Award. Gerbic founded and manages About Time, a nonprofit organization focusing on scientific skepticism and activism, while her particular focus has been grief vampires, which is psychics. Her activism encompasses all areas of skepticism. In 2019, the New York Times featured Gerbic and the involvement in 2 psychic stings, Operation Bumblebee and Operation Onion Ring. Please give Susan an HSGP welcome.
I believe you're muted on your side.
Okay, there you go. All right, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to unmute. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for coming out to hear my talk. I really appreciate it. With all the amazing things that are on our minds these days, it is wonderful to see we can still be united and come together. All right, so I guess you're ready for my presentation. So what I decided to do, because I work on this Wikipedia project, I run the project, is that I can tell stories with Wikipedia, articles that we have written. And I can tell all kinds of stories. We've written just over 2,000 Wikipedia articles. 45% of all the work we do is in languages outside of English. So I'm going to tell you 2 stories today. And I hope you enjoy it. I should be able to finish in about 15-20 minutes or so. And I'm really interested in your questions. So that will be interesting. Okay. Let's see if we do this right. Mhm. Okay. It's always so confusing when I have multiple screens, which one I want to share to. So I want to share to this one. Okay, hold on. Hold the horses. Share here. Share it too. That's where I should share it. Oh, let's share here. Let's see what happens. Okay.
Yep, we can see it just fine. Thank you.
Okay. So I do run this abouttimeproject.org, and please take pictures as we go through the screens. Oops, I didn't share the audio. Hold on a second. I'm gonna stop share and reshare with the audio because I completely forgot. It seems odd that you would think that Zoom would just make that a default or something. I don't know. Okay, now better?
Yes, we can see that just
Okay.
fine.
All right, sounds great. Let me pull up my chat here. Okay, so I run this project called the abouttimeproject.org, and on there you can find all kinds of information about different projects that I run, different things that I'm involved in. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to just solely focus on guerrilla skepticism on Wikipedia, which is the GSoW. This is weird because I can't see anything. Anyway, so that should have changed slides, right? Did you see my slide change? No, yes, no. Okay, I'm going to assume it changed.
Okay, I think we're good.
Okay, so you should be seeing a gorilla very upset in the middle of the screen.
Yes, we
He's
do.
fighting on the world okay, good, okay. So anyway, we're going to be talking about the Wikipedia project we run. Now I've had this I started I think in 2011, 2012. We weren't really paying attention because it just kind of started organically. And what I do is I train people to become Wikipedia editors. As far as we know, we are the only organization that does all the training. I have created a training program that takes about 4 months to complete. It is located in a secret cabal on Facebook, and so everybody who participates in the GSoW are on Facebook. We have about 120 people. Various times they're more active than others. And it takes about, like I said, about 4 months to go through the training. I handle all the training, and I use Facebook Messenger mostly to do that. We also use Google Docs. So if you're interested in joining our project, please get in touch with me on Facebook Messenger. So a few years ago, you guys might have noticed we had this little thing, just this minor little thing going on called pandemic. And because we are so active in the world of science, we wanted to do our work and try to do something that would help out with giving information to people, good information. So we, as a team, more or less focused on anything that had to do with vaccines. And that's people who are advocates for getting vaccination, organizations, also some of the medicines, trimerisol, we wrote that in Portuguese. We wrote quite a few pages dealing with measles, things like that before COVID. And we wanted to get a lot of information. Also, you probably have heard about the misinformation dozen, which are some of those people who were giving the most misinformation out there during the COVID epidemic. I believe, can't remember if it's the Washington Post or the New York Times had profiled these people and labeled them the misinformation dozen. And almost all of those Wikipedia articles we wrote. We wanted to make sure people got really great information when they were looking for them. Now, there are very strict rules on Wikipedia. You cannot just come into Wikipedia. Well, you can come into Wikipedia and make an edit, but depending on the article you're trying to edit, it might only stay seconds and you can get yourself banned. So creating great Wikipedia pages is a skill of something you have to learn how to do and do correctly. And there's so many rules that it's really wonderful to have a team that's able to do it. So you may know this person. He's become very prominent these days, and we don't know what's going to end up happening. Yay, I'm glad you can see my screen. So this is RFK Jr. Very scary, right? So RFK Jr. already had a Wikipedia article. What we were able to do is write the Wikipedia article for Children's Health Defense. And that's just one of those innocuous kind of names that sounds to anybody who isn't really following the world of vaccinations or misinformation. Children, we like children, we like health, and we like defending our children. So if people saw that this man ran the organization Children's Health Defense, they didn't know what that really was. So we wrote the Wikipedia article for Children's Health Defense. Here it is. I made this screenshot a few months ago, so hopefully it's still pretty much there. In yellow, and I don't really hope that you will read this, look at this later because of course you can't read this small print right now. But what we were saying is that the lead, that's the beginning part of a Wikipedia article, is the most important part of a Wikipedia article because that's what most people read. And then they move on with the rest of their life. They just usually come to the Wikipedia article just to get a little bit of information about whatever it is they're interested in. They don't usually need most of the history. So in GSoW, the lead is the most important part that we write for all Wikipedia articles. And in this one, in case you can't read it, it says it's a nonprofit activist group mainly known for anti-vaccine propaganda and has been identified as one of the main sources of misinformation on vaccines. And you see there's site after site after site after site after site of that. And those citations have to be really strong, good citations. They can't be blogs or, anything like that. Or they're well cited. Then we say against various public health programs such as vaccination and fluoridation of drinking water. And then we have arguments against vaccination are contradicted by overwhelming scientific consensus about the safety and effectiveness of vaccinations. And you see there's four citations after that. Also on the right-hand side, this is a hallmark of GSoW because we know people are coming to the Wikipedia articles to quickly take a look at them. We often put sidebars on Wikipedia articles right up there at the top, and you can see where it says alternative medicine. So that is another tell, a very easy tell for people to go to the Wikipedia page for Children's Health Defense and immediately know this is an anti-vaccine, anti-fluoridation website that is not helping and is not protecting the health of our children, obviously. So one of the things you might not have noticed on the slide I shared a moment ago is this little bit that I've just circled for you. Censorship is hiding us from you. Now, when we do any kind of activism of any kind, we like to have something that some way of measuring our effects. And we want to be able to look back and see, did we have an effect on the action we took? And I think that this really helps because his website, this is a pop-up. I don't know if it still comes up, but this is the pop-up. When you visit the Children's Health Defense website, this would pop up and they're trying to get you to give them your name and email so that they can solicit you. Censorship is hiding from you. And according to their blog, again, this is probably hard to read, but it says we are being censored. And in yellow, it says, under the guise of fact checking, Google, Wikipedia, and other tech companies falsely accuse Mr. Kennedy and Children's Health Defense of spreading misinformation about vaccines and other urgent health matters. Wikipedia refuses to correct their inaccurate entries despite their numerous attempts to provide them with the truth. Okay, so that is true. The rules of Wikipedia are strong. You can't just bully us into making changes. Sorry, my voice is this is early morning for me here in California. And so you can't bully people into making changes. So they can protest as much as they want. They can send people to edit the Wikipedia article. They can do whatever they can do, but they're not going to change the article too much because we can lock the Wikipedia article. And by me, when I say we, I don't mean me, myself, and my team. I mean Wikipedia editors themselves, because the rules of Wikipedia are the rules of scientific skepticism. You must have a citation to prove what you say. That citation must be a really great citation. It can't be just whatever somebody says. And in most cases, anybody who tries to make a change on Wikipedia, it's going to be reverted very quickly. And if you continue reverting or you continue disrupting, what's going to happen is you're going to get yourself blocked, and it's just a waste of time for anybody to try to do these kind of changes. So now let's look and see how much of effect we had on changing people's minds. And here's what we have. Well, we don't know if we change people's minds, but we know that the Children's Health Defense Wikipedia article, and this is light blue, so it's very hard to read, has been viewed 653,880 times. And I just made that yesterday. And yeah, some people are people who are repeating their visits to the Wikipedia article. They may even be on the Wikipedia article only seconds. They may spend hours looking at every citation we put on there. We don't really know. We just know that the Wikipedia page for Children's Health Defense has been viewed over 653,000 times as of last night when I made this screenshot. So if you're a person who's interested in statistics, which I am, you can see the different spikes over time. And the bigger spikes are probably times whenever there's been some interest in the media that has fueled people into going and looking at the Wikipedia page for this this article. So we know that we've had an effect in society because we know that people are looking at the work that we do. We've also written this Wikipedia page in Spanish and I believe in French. So it's able to get a little more information. Interesting enough, I noticed this morning when I was looking at the stats that it doesn't look like Children's Health Defense has gone beyond English. It's getting very, very few views in Spanish and French, which is, you know, for the best, but I just find it fascinating. Okay, now this person you've never heard of. This is Barbara O'Neill. Now, Barbara O'Neill is a person who is from Australia. And I'm a big supporter of the podcast, The Skeptic Zone. And it is not just only focused on Australia, but it is focused on, you know, different things that are happening around the world. But for a very long time, I kept hearing this name coming up on the Skeptic Zone called Barbara O'Neill. Barbara O'Neill is doing this and Barbara O'Neill is doing that. And so once I started paying attention, I could see that there were citations being created for Barbara O'Neill in press in a way that would make it possible for us to write a Wikipedia article for her. So we did write a Wikipedia article for her, back in, oh gosh, ages ago. And it got almost no views. I mean, almost 0 views. And you can see from the Wikipedia article, and this is an older screenshot, it shows that it does have the alternative medicine tag on here. This woman is spreading a lot of misinformation. And why is Wikipedia important? This is called a knowledge bar, the Google knowledge bar. And what this does is when you are Googling a name or a place or a thing, any kind of Google alert, you know, or Google search you're doing, this is what it would typically look like. And it's going to come up with usually the Wikipedia page at the top of the search that you're doing. If not the top of the page, it might be within the first couple links. It's definitely going to appear on the search that you make. So it's very important that the Wikipedia page is well written so that it is prominent whenever people are Googling somebody. The other thing that you can see here is Barbara O'Neill you can see her on the right, it has some photos, and then underneath it says, Barbara O'Neill is an Australian alternative medicine personality known for promoting dangerous and unsupported alternative medicine. And then you see that it says Wikipedia on there. And on these Google searches that most people do, most of the time, the line under that box on the right-hand side under the photos is going to pull from the first line of a Wikipedia article. So again, the lead of a Wikipedia article is super important. So I think that a lot of people are able to go to find out who this Barbara O'Neill person is they're talking about. And then with a quick Google search, they don't even need to go to the Wikipedia article to find out that she is an alternative medicine practitioner who is anti-vaccine and so on. So I think it's important to have those kinds of prominence. You can see the Barbara O'Neill is is also the same person from Gone with the Wind. And the Wikipedia page outranks Barbara O'Neill's own website. Now, so during the pandemic, if you guys remember, Barbara O'Neill was nobody. She was absolutely zero, no person, but she found TikTok. And what ends up happening is she starts putting out a lot of TikTok videos. Now, TikTok is mainly a youthful site for people who are, in their teens and 20s and maybe early 30s. That's mainly the people who go there. And that age group doesn't have a lot of information. They don't have the history that older people do, where we understand, um, you know, um, the dangers of anti-vaccinations. Some people may have lived during a time. Some people listening to this may have lived during the time when polio was rampant and terrifying, and there was no vaccine from it. So it is, we know what this is like to live in a time where childhood vaccines are very, very important. But there's a lot of people who are living in a life blissfully unaware of what the dangers of a not having some kind of vaccine, and that is the TikTok generation. So Barbara O'Neill has been putting out a lot of videos and TikTok that are sharing this just alternative medicine nonsense. And this is an old screenshot, but you can see from it, she already has 526,000 followers. I'm sure that's probably closer to 1 million now. And so she puts out these videos, and they have, anywhere from 20 to, 100,000 views on them. And they're just quick little glips. Okay, so now I'm going to show you one. Let's hope everything works okay. This is a man I'll tell you about in a minute. So I'm going to play this. It's about 1 minute long. So somebody please let me know if this
Table salt is a dangerous salt. Seawater contains 92 minerals. Approximately 30% is sodium, 50% is chloride, because we now have two very harsh minerals that if you were to inject both of those into the blood, you would die. So when people come to me with high blood pressure, I put them on Celtic salt, because Celtic salt contains 82 minerals.
Hold on, did she just attack sodium chloride for containing sodium and chloride? Time school. Just so you guys know, this is Barbara O'Neill, a naturopath who actually got banned from teaching after the New South Wales Healthcare Complaints Commission investigation found that she lacked any health-related qualifications, degree, diploma, or membership from an accredited health organisation, and for providing dangerous, unsupported health advice to vulnerable groups. This included advising parents to feed their infants raw goat milk or almond milk blended with dates or banana instead of formula, and recommending cancer patients forego chemotherapy in favour of baking soda wraps and dietary changes. And in this video she stated that if you inject sodium or chloride into the blood you would die. This is how I know she has no clinical experience at all. Do you want to know what I prescribe every single hospital shift I work? These bags of fluid with literally sodium chloride inside it. But of course, as with anything, there will always be a toxicity point, but that doesn't make it bad, so I have no idea what she's on about. And lastly, trace minerals in the salt do not make it better for hypertension. Controlled trials show unrefined salts do not make any difference to your blood pressure. Salt is salt. Class dismissed.
Okay, awesome, right? So this is a medical doctor. He is very popular on TikTok, thankfully. And at the time that I made this screenshot, he had 1.8 million followers. It's probably a lot more than that. And what is going on is this man, Dr. Adiz, is able to make a lot of TikTok shorts just like that in order to combat people like Barbara O'Neill and other people who are doing this. Now he's getting more views. He's got, millions of views on his videos, which is wonderful. But I don't know if you noticed it or not, but in his background, he was showing the Wikipedia article that we wrote. So all he was able to do, all the information about Barbara O'Neill was in one nice, tidy place for him to be able to find. And then when he made his TikTok video, he was able to just highlight it and move along with the points that were made in the Wikipedia article. And that's really powerful, because what we're able to do is when we're writing a Wikipedia article, we're not just affecting the person that is right there talking to us this moment. And as you can see here, I put a screenshot you can see right there. So we're not only helping that one specific person right then, right there, who's reading the Wikipedia article. Wikipedia, not only, as I said, the Google searches, not only as I said on Google searches where you can see that information on a Google search, but people are taking our information that we created, and doctors such as this one on TikTok are allowing people to be able to get better information. He's able to do his job, which is combating misinformation, easier and quicker and more in a tight little bundle, little info thing. It's easier for him to do his job because GSoW has done their job. So I think that's really important. I have a screenshot I thought I missed. Okay. And here's one I missed. Oh, no, that's Children's Health Defense. I missed the one. So what I'm missing is that Barbara O'Neill, her Wikipedia page is already in 3 million page views, I believe now. And this is a person who had 000 impact. She was nobody until the pandemic came out, and she found her way on TikTok. So I'm going to end here. If you want to take pictures of the website so that you can go to our website and get more information about the different things that we do, you could do that. I'm hoping that I have a lot of questions for you. I hope you have a lot of questions for me because, it's a very well, I guess it's not complicated to me, the story of GSoW and what we do, but to people in the audience, you may have a lot of questions, and I'm hoping that I can deal with those. The one I'm going to answer first, because this is the one I get the most often, is that we don't really have problems with people coming in and making changes to our Wikipedia articles, because the way my team writes them is they are written in whole. Like we do it offline and make a huge effort to make sure everything's correct. And then before it's made live, other people in the cabal will go in and they'll go through it and make sure that it makes sense. And they'll go through and say, well, this paragraph I'm not too sure it's clear. Can you revise that? Or, making sure it's done correctly. And so we vet it within our team. Then we make the page live. And so it's very difficult for somebody to make changes to it. Yeah, they do. They'll come in and they'll try to change a couple things, like they'll take out alternative medicine or that kind of thing, but it's put right back in a couple minutes usually. My team has written over 2,000 Wikipedia articles, 2,203, I believe, but those articles are sometimes rewritten from stubs, and you guys probably know what a stub is, which is a badly written bad page. So we only count the 2,203 Wikipedia articles that we have written when we keep track of how many views those 2,223 articles have been. And this morning I just checked, and it's actually 2024. That's how many pages we have written in our GSoW project. Remember, 45% of that is non-English. And we're about to hit 180 million page views for the work we've done. So we know that we've had an impact somewhere. We know that the media is probably looking at our information. And we know that school children everywhere are probably plagiarizing our work. So that's what we want. If the kids are going to plagiarize our work, we know they're going to Wikipedia. Let's make sure that they're getting the best information possible. Also, we've written 115 pages that we consider vaccine related, and those 115 Wikipedia pages have 8.7 million page views. Just checked. So, my cat has joined me, so I guess this is Hamilton. I guess let's open up the questions to anybody who has questions.
So for those in the room and also those who are online, if you have any questions online, we will repeat those for you. For those of us in the room, I will be walking around with a microphone. We do have a few questions already.
Hi, Susan. Thank you for this presentation, and wow, it sounds like you put a lot of hours into this. Does your cabal have need for any more volunteers? And if so, could you tell us a little bit about maybe what the work is like and what sort of positions you might be able to use help. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. We are always looking for people to help us out. The process is you contact me on Facebook Messenger because I want to make sure you're on Facebook. People who are on Facebook and are able to use it and comfortable using it usually do way better in the cabal because it's a social group in a lot of ways. It's not something you just check, once a month. It's something that you're going to be having conversations with people. We ask that you vet other people's work. Sometimes you don't know anything about that kind of work. It might be an area that you don't have any expertise, but you can certainly read and say, this paragraph does not make sense. It feels like, I don't understand what it means. So we ask people to vet each other's work. And that's one of the reasons why we've lasted as long as we have. And it's kind of a social aspect in that way. So you have to contact me on Facebook Messenger. I want your email and I want your Wikipedia username. So you have to open a Wikipedia account. And then you're going to tell me where you've heard about me, where you've heard about GSoW. And then I will give you a pre-training, which takes about 3 hours. And that's just a taste of what our training is like. And after the pre-training, I will look at your work because you have to actually do some work. And and I will really go through your Facebook page to make sure you are a scientific skeptic. And then, and other social media. And then you will decide after you've done the pre-training if this sounds like something you want to do. Because to some people, it is an effort. Once you're done there, then I put you into the cabal, you meet your peers, and the training starts. You're given a Google document with all the information on the Google of the training, and it can take anywhere between a few weeks to 4 months to finish the training. And once you're done, you will rewrite a Wikipedia article. We bring you through the stages. It's all very like first you're gonna insert a picture here. Okay, next you're gonna make a change somewhere else. Then you're gonna do this. It's all very like basic. I've trained tons and tons of people, and I can usually train anybody who's willing to be trained. Then through that process, after you finish training, then it's up to you. We have a lot of people who do different kinds of work with us. Some people will work only on an article a month or an article a year, depending on their schedules. So we have a lot of teachers, we have a lot of professors, we have a lot of experts, and we're always looking for more experts. We also like to have people who can translate into other languages, from like German to English or Portuguese to French or whatever. All that's great because we don't use AI. We don't use Google Translate. Everything that we use is a native speakers or people who have a second language. And so we're always looking for new people to join us. Yeah, of course. Please, make sure this is something that you might be interested in. And we're welcome to have people in all areas.
Thank you, Susan, for the great presentation. Another question for you. You kind of mentioned it just now. My understanding is that Wikipedia is used as a source for training large language models like ChatGPT and others. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that and how that's had an impact.
We've seen no impact. It is the future, and that's what we have to deal with. So they are using it to train ChatGPT. Obviously, Wikipedia has implications that are beyond what we thought when Wikipedia started, 20 years ago. And it's just super important. It is the most important website, in my opinion, out there today, because it is for people who are skeptical thinkers, people who are in the scientific skepticism community. It is the first place we should be making sure we have good information on. This should not be ignored because, as I say, journalists are rushed for time these days, and they're just going to Wikipedia and taking whatever information off there and just churning it out into articles that they're making. I mean, remember the days when they used to have science journalists and they'd have like teams of people who would double check what the reporters were saying? And no, that's not happening now. A lot of journalists not only have to write the articles and get them out very quickly, but they also have to manage their own social media and so on. They're rushed for time, so they can't check everything as well as we would like. So they're turning to Wikipedia, and we know that's what's going on. And I tell people, Wikipedia, you can trust it or not trust it. It's just a starting place. Get your information from Wikipedia and, get an overview, and then go down to the citations that are there at the bottom and read those citations, follow those citations. That's where you should be getting your information from, actually. Wikipedia is just like a précis, it's a summing up the situation. But we know people are probably going to get their information from a quick glance. And it's better that they get it from a quick glance on Wikipedia than they get it from, their Facebook feed or, TikTok.
Thanks a lot for the rest of us. Okay, COVID comes to America. It's a new virus. We have no vaccine. Even our health officials don't know what the heck to do in an ambiguous, and it's killing people in an ambiguous situation like that. How do you guys deal with that?
Well, we started working on vaccines years ago, and we focused a lot on measles and a lot of different things beforehand. So the best thing to do is always be know what you're going to do in advance. And that's to build up and make sure that the Wikipedia pages for those people who, like Paul Offit and Stanley Plotkin and different people like that, are prominently well written, I say prominent, I shouldn't say prominent, but well written Wikipedia articles, so that we have somebody to trust going forward, because we don't know what the next pandemic will be. There's nothing we can do. All we can do is make sure the best information is out there that is possible for people to find, and then we adjust as more information comes in and better information comes in.
Hi, Susan. It's your friend Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Have you read the new book about Elon Musk called Character Limit? It's almost all about, it just got published, and it's all about content moderation and the problems that Twitter and X have been struggling with over the last 2 years or more.
No, I haven't read the book. I have a gazillion books that I need to read. They're piling up here like cats over here. No, I haven't read it. It's the misinformation is a massive subject. It is absolutely just frustrating. All I know is that in my little world of 100 and so people that are on my cabal, I'm just doing what I can to clean up my side of the sidewalk. And my side of the sidewalk is to make sure Wikipedia is in the best shape it possibly can. There's nothing I can, I don't have those kind of brains to be able to deal with those kinds of people. I am just trying to just keep my little area clean, and that is Wikipedia.
Hi, Susan. My name is Kate. Thank you so much for your work. I'm a huge Wikipedia fiend, and I follow a lot of projects that are based around Wikipedia, like The Depths of Wikipedia is one of my favorite ones, which is a comedy show and an Instagram page if anyone is interested. But I was just curious if you or your group has ever received any kind of backlash, or if you've been contacted by any of the like pseudoscience influencers, misinformation people that you write about?
That's a great question. Thanks. I wrote down The Depths of Wikipedia so I can check it out. I haven't heard of that. So yes, absolutely. Okay, let's just be frank here. I operate a Wikipedia team on Facebook. That is absolutely the scariest thing in the world for people who are admins and wonderful people who edit Wikipedia. I would be terrified to know that there was a team out there like myself that was not clear and transparent about who their members were and what Wikipedia articles we've written. So I get it. So Wikipedia people who have not interacted with us, and we're just regular editors. You can't tell us from another editor, except that we tend to focus on things that are science and scientific skepticism. But absolutely, we've had some blowback from people who are finding out about this secret cabal on Facebook, which is never done. And they freaked out. So yes, we have had some problems with the regular good people of Wikipedia finding out about our team, which we've never hidden it as far as what we're doing. I just don't want my team members to be outed, because what happens is there is some repercussions. People use Wikipedia accounts that do not have their name or anything associated with their name. But my Wikipedia account is Gerbic. So I'm public. So it's easy for people to see my edits. Everything on Wikipedia is transparent. And so I have been attacked multiple times. And I'm happy with allowing people to attack me, because I want my team, especially when we're dealing with the anti-vaccine world, not to have any problems whatsoever. Nobody should be bothering with my team or messing with them or finding out their real names and bothering them. So we're very protective of that. And yes, the UFO community is on fire. At least it seems to be calming down now. But I really find UFOs fascinating. The stories of UFOs, also Bigfoot. That's always one of my favorite ones too. So I've written many Wikipedia articles, or I should say I've cleaned up a lot of Wikipedia articles related to the UFO community. And right now on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, I spent probably 10 months being flamed and called everything you can imagine. And I'm one of the most hated people in the UFO community, because they don't understand the rules of Wikipedia. They don't understand how this works. They think I'm stealing the valor of the great heroes and pilots who have seen UFOs. And oh my gosh, it's exhausting. But yes, absolutely. I've had lots of pushback on me personally, but mostly our team doesn't get pushback. It's being on a being on a closed Facebook group where nobody really knows who's on the team and who is not has its advantages. But yeah, it is scary to people outside of it. But anybody who's worked alongside of one of my team members, we're just like anybody else, and they get kudos, and they're trusted, and and so on. I hope that answers your question.
Hi, I'm Trey. I'm glad you brought up the whole UFO situation. So in terms of UAPs, and there's been so much activity lately with the State Department videos and the pilots speaking out and all these different things. Have you found any kind of, and I wouldn't say evidence, but things that even make you go, wait a minute, what is that, right? Like even these pilots are questioning what they're seeing up there and the speeds and the direction, all these different things. Is there anything, have you found anything that leads you to go, yeah, this is a genuine mystery, like what's going on here?
No.
I love that answer. We have time still for a few more questions. Yes?
Sure. Oh, let me just follow up really quick with that question about the UFOs. Just briefly, is that I dabble in a lot of the pseudosciences. My expertise is kind of more in the psychic medium world. And that's really, some people know me only as that person who does psychic medium stings and things like that. And other people only know me as this Wikipedia person. And, same with the Bigfoot community. You look at the best information for the Bigfoot community, and people are just so excited about it. And then when you talk to the UFO people and you say, hey, look at this amazing information that the Bigfoot communities come out with, the UFO community just laughs at them. And vice versa. It's like you get so embroiled into this this world, you can't see that there's really nothing there.
Susan, thank you very much for your time. In the last few hundred years, just in the last few hundred years, there have been hundreds of attempts on the lives of countless kings, presidents, prime ministers, premiers, popes, political candidates, other important historical figures. And For instance, the Queen Elizabeth I of England had at least a dozen. Hitler had probably 30 on his life. Most of these attempts were not lone assassin operations, but involved more than one person, which technically would make them a conspiracy. In the last 40 or 50 years, the U.S. Department of Justice has spent at least 25%, and in some years, 50% of its budget and its man hours devoted strictly to conspiracy crimes, of which there are many. So with that in mind, and finally, Einstein said the epitome of ignorance is condemning an idea without investigation. Well, with that in mind, why is it that when someone brings up the mere notion of a crime or a project being a conspiracy, that it is immediately met with ridicule without any real factual backup on the part of the skeptic? Thank you very much.
I'm not sure I understand what the question is.
The question is that since conspiracy theory and conspiracy crimes have been happening forever, they're all over the place. The Department of Justice, our own Department of Justice, is spending almost half its budget some years investigating this. Why is it that skeptics automatically, at the mere mention of a conspiracy crime, ridicule it with no evidence to back up their critique at all? Why is that?
This is a case-by-case basis. I can't even imagine making us all skeptics as being this giant monolith of one community. I would have to see case by case. I'm still not quite sure I understand.
The answer to Pat's question is that the burden of proof is not on the person saying that the conspiracy theory is incorrect. The burden of proof is on the person with the outlining the conspiracy theory to show evidence. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. That which is, what's the verb I'm looking for? Thank you. Asserted without evidence may be dismissed without evidence.
Right.
Yes. There we go. All right, we're going to move on.
Hi, thanks. My name's Dan Dalton. I appreciate your work with the Wikipedia. I reference, or I read into the Wikipedia, it seems like a couple of times a day. And I appreciate your sticking with the science behind a lot of these things. Recently, Kim Commando, this question's more kind of on the side of things, but Kim Commando, who's a tech nerd who has her own website, says that TikTok has surpassed Google as what people use in a search engine, and that to me is troubling because of the close ties that TikTok has with the Chinese Communist government. And in the movie, The Social Dilemma came out in 2020, kind of highlighted that fact. And to me, I'm seeing this appear recently with our bipolarism in the presidential election. And in fact, I had a friend who admitted that she was addicted to TikTok, and I got her to show me just a little bit of her sessions, and sure enough, it's very skewed to one political viewpoint. And just if I, flip-flop between having TikTok on my phone and not, she's taken her TikTok account off of that. And I would just like to get your view more of what the power of TikTok on people's beliefs in the pseudosciences and so forth.
Well, Dan, I can only talk about it, as personally. And I know that when I'm tired, I don't watch a lot of TV, I don't watch a lot of movies or anything like that. And I cannot seem to get to my books that are stacking up. But I know that when I'm tired, once in a while, there's one of those videos that you just click on YouTube, those shorts, or on Facebook, or on TikTok, or wherever. And I just find you just watch one more, and then you just watch one more, and you just watch one more, and an hour will go by, and all of a sudden I kind of feel like I've woken up. It's like playing solitaire. They're just numbingly in the background, or you are following it. It's very interesting. But I know that these algorithms are really geared towards whatever you start watching. Because if I'm watching a home improvement or wedding dresses or somebody, decorating their home, the whole feed that's what is going on. So if your friends or other people are starting to watch on TikTok or wherever, and they're getting very one-sided political information, same with misinformation, like on alternative medicine or so on, that's what they're going to be fed. So I don't know if it is somewhere in there, they must have clicked on something that was political. And then, of course, all these YouTube, TikTok, Facebook shorts and so on, they want to keep you online. So if you're watching it, they're going to feed you more of it, which is a problem. And we know that algorithm is a problem. It's nothing I have any control over whatsoever. Taking it off your phone is probably for the best. I just know that it's happened to me multiple times where I just find myself all of a sudden just kind of almost snapping out of it and saying, wait, it's been an hour? How did I do that? And it doesn't have to be, nonsense. Like I said, I can find myself watching restorations of, French chateaus and who knows what. And cat videos. Oh my gosh, cat videos, puppies. You get introduced to puppies and birds meeting for the internet is a love and hate kind of thing. We all have to have our own responsibilities and learn what we need to be doing to fight against just it wasting our time.
Susan, hi, my name is Susan also. And I have a question. I can understand the terminology alternative medicine or alternate, I'm not sure which it was, means as opposed to conventional allopathic medicine. Okay. What do you think of the term complementary medicine, which is not the same as alternative? They work with medical doctors, MDs, and add additional things. They do not say, don't use an MD, just go to this alternative thing and take a pill or whatever. But are you familiar with complementary medicine, and what is your opinion of it?
Well, I follow science-based medicine. It's complementary medicine. Can you be more specific and name one of the complementary medicines that are out there?
Doctors who prescribe, for example, vitamins, and I'm not familiar with it. That's why I was wondering if you were. So I've heard the term.
Well, there's probably a Wikipedia article on it.
Probably.
No, we've never worked on complementary medicine. And I should say that my team works on, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Wikipedia articles where we just are going in and making sure, cleaning up a sentence here or fixing something there. But we don't count that in the 180 million page views or the 2,224 pages. Those are just small changes we make every day, and it's we can't count that. But alternative medicine is alternative to medicine. Complementary medicine, I'm not 100% sure what that would fall under. If it's
Could I give an example?
Yeah, give me an example, and maybe I can handle it better.
One of our former presidents provides a meditation coaching session. It is under the name of Humanist meditation. It's all science-based. There's no, we're trying to send you to the astral plane or anything like that. It's just complementary to everyday techniques that oftentimes psychologists, psychiatrists would use, but it's also, I utilize many of the same techniques. So that would be complementary to therapies, psychiatry, that sort of thing, but not necessarily in the attempt to replace or supersede.
Okay, that sounds fine. I mean, like getting a good night's sleep and eating well, getting some exercise, having friends, going out and seeing a good comedy show and having a nice laugh. That sounds like my kind of complementary medicine. I don't know. I would have to see the specific thing,
well,
like if there was something.
hi, my name is Rada. Well, per latest information that I hear on the Skeptic's Guide from Stephen Novella, complementary medicine is just a way of alternative medicine to sneak in and get insurance coverage, go through legislation. So yeah, it's just alternative medicine trying to become legit.
Case by case, yeah, of course.
I would have to say it's case by case as well.
Yeah, case by case, which is how things sneak in, right? If you came in boldly and said, "Oh, we're complementary medicine and we promote Reiki and we promote homeopathy and so on like that," then that'd be more obvious. But if you come in sneaking like, "Oh no, we're really advocating for people to get better night's sleeps," okay, that's great. Okay, now we're advocating for people to put bananas under pyramids or in the house and they'll last longer. Okay, that's not really harmful, and then it becomes more progressive. So it just depends.
Thank you for your work. I'm wondering where you get your funding.
Okay, well, we ran forever without any funding whatsoever. And because you can't pay a Wikipedia editor, and I should caution everybody out there who thinks that they can make any money at this, there is no money to be made.
So you're all volunteer?
You're
You're
all
all completely
volunteers.
volunteer.
But we are funded. The James Randi Educational Foundation several years ago gave me the funds to be able to be a nonprofit. And so we are an active nonprofit about time project.org. But that funding is usually used for me to be able to attend conferences in person. We sponsor scholarships. And then the work I do in the science, with psychic mediums, we use the money to be able to do that kind of thing where I'm able to go and get like VIP passes and attend psychic events and that kind of thing. So we are funded. We do receive donations, and we spend very little money each year, but we do have funds for that. But so every one of my GSoW editors is unpaid, and we're all volunteers. And you should never, ever, ever pay for an edit to a Wikipedia page.
Hey there, I have a question about scientific consensus. So, for instance, I study physics, and there's always some guy who got a PhD 50 years ago who's like, it's all tetrahedral string theory or whatever. And so a lot of people will see someone who looks like an expert said something, and it can be difficult to communicate, but 99.5% of experts say that's crazy and it's just someone who was an expert a long time ago. How do you communicate that and get the point across that just because someone was an expert doesn't mean they still are qualified?
Okay, it's a great question. Take me a second to answer it. So we cannot use that 1% of, if you've got 100 people in and 90% of them, and then 10%, and the 10% are the ones that are saying, this is wrong. We can't really use that 10% unless that 10% is somebody who is already held with, how to say this, in a place where they're considered an expert in that field. So, I have a really good example. Okay, here's a great example. The Havana syndrome. You may or may not have heard of Havana syndrome. It's faded a little bit now. But that was a phenomenon, I think 2014, where some people were saying that they were being attacked with microwaves or sound or it was vague. The statement was vague in Cuba. And the stories around it got to be it got to be quite interesting. So JAMA, the Journal for Journal for American Medical Association, I think. JAMA, very prestigious. It's a journal that is well respected. It has journalistic integrity. It's one of those things that we're going to want to use. They're very influential. So JAMA came out and made a statement basically saying that Havana syndrome might be real, that there may be microwaves being sent to targeted people in buildings and so on. So we had a large battle on Wikipedia about that because JAMAs and people associated with JAMA are saying this thing is probably real. So what we had to do is we had to slowly wait until the consensus of science, the people who are experts on mass psychogenic illness and other things, including people like Stephen Novella, to come out and be able to, with clarity, explain what's probably going on, that these people are, there's a lot of things going on, but it's probably not a microwave aimed at your head that is able to decide which of the humans is going to receive the targeted brainwave and not the others, and so on. And it became like a panic. And so it takes time for the scientific consensus to actually come through. But when it does, it slowly pushes back on the other information. We do like to keep in the Wikipedia articles all of the information we can. It's usually, it'll look like something like where somebody will say, you know, after the in the first 6 months of the Havana syndrome wave of you know, everybody's interest, according to this person, and this person, they said that it was definitely a microwave, targeted microwave, you know, to people's brains, and it was the Russians or the Cubans or the, you know, who, or space people, or I don't know who they were saying. This is what they claimed. And then right underneath that sentence, it'll say, but according to experts like this person, who are experts in their field of this area, they say, upon reviewing blah, 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 this is what is actually going on, is this has all the signs of mass psychogenic illness, and these people are not crazy. They are just experiencing age-related, you know, health issues like headaches and loss of sleep, and, you know, just normal things, and they're attributing it to this other phenomena. And then, of course, the government gets involved, and the government says, well, we want to support our troops, so we're going to start giving these people money for their this that falls under this category. So in other words, it takes time. It works it out in the end, but you know, I and my team can't put anything on a Wikipedia page until we have really good, credible scientific consensus. But we can kind of, in the example that you gave, I'm sorry this is so long, in the example you gave of the one person who's kind of been an expert, you know, years and years and years ago, they can still be quoted on the Wikipedia page if the citation is relevant, but it won't be. It'll probably be combated by better information, more current information. And I need to make sure it's clear to everybody, Wikipedia uses secondary sources. It does not use primary sources mostly. We very rarely use a primary source. And that's contradicted to most people's way of understanding how to do research or how to do explain things. But I'm a Wikipedia editor and my team that aren't experts necessarily in this field. So we have to rely on scientific consensus, and that consensus has to be well written, well researched. We can't just put something up. So we have to step back and rely on other people who are evaluating primary sources. So that's why everything is pretty much secondary sources on Wikipedia, and that secondary source has to be at a high level before it can be used. So I hope that answered your question. I'm sorry, it was kind of vague. I'm kind of rambling.
I think that sufficiently answered it. Okay, so we are to respect your time, and that you're trying to enjoy your Sunday morning in California there. If everybody would please give a warm thank you so much from HSGP for. Before we let you go, could you please repeat any contact information you'd like to share, websites, social media,
Right,
that sort of thing?
Of course. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for giving me your time this morning. My cat lost interest. I guess that he's kind of like, you know, heard this all before, but you had some great questions. I appreciate it. You can visit abouttimeproject.org. That has a lot of our information on it, especially if you want to see anything that has to do with psychic mediums, because I think that's fascinating. And if you want to get a hold of me, you can usually find me on Facebook, Susan Gerbic. Please don't contact my cousin, who's also Susan Gerbic. You'll see that you know what I look like. And you can also get a hold of me at my email, susangerbic@yahoo.com. But I mostly respond to Messenger. But yeah, please, if you have any questions on anything I've said, please reach out. I'm happy to talk to everybody. I've been told I'm quite friendly.
Thank you again so very much for your presentation today. And as we're wrapping up, I know that Anne-Marie has a couple of announcements for us.
Hi, I'm Anne-Marie. I'm a longtime member here and part of the breakfast crew.